नमस्कार मित्रों, पश्तूनों पर ज्यादतियां दिनों दिन बढ़ती जा रही हैं। पश्तून आंदोलन अब विद्रोह का रूप ले चुका है। जनता और पाक सैनिकों में जगह जगह संघर्ष की स्थिति भयावह होती जा रही है। सैनिकों द्वारा पश्तूनों को गोलियों से भूना जा रहा है। पश्तून नेता आंदोलन में भारत से मदद की अपेक्षा रखते हैं। वे भारत की ओर देख रहे हैं। शीघ्र ही पश्तून पाकिस्तान से अलग होना चाहते हैं। इस संदर्भ में पश्तून विद्वान शाही सादात श्री आरिफ अजाकिया से चर्चा कर रहे हैं। कृपया उनका अवलोकन करें।
Basically, the Devrim line is one of the darkest line on, it cut us in two pieces, and it means to every Pashtun, this means a chain, that we are tied, we are forced, we are divided, family are divided, even our cemeteries are divided. Some of the cemeteries on one side of the Devrim line, some of them are this side. The farmers, they have land in this side, and they're living the other side. The houses, even how the line are crossed sometime in houses, villages, and divided the whole family. And if somebody died the other day, a woman was died, and the brother couldn't go to cross to see his sister for the last minute. And this is it means to us the most injustice, cruel thing that ever happened to humans.
Do you see this Durand line disappearing in our lives?
I think that it is going to. It's going to, because what has been for a long time that the if you see the state of Pakistan, they were just the whole. It's like a Pandora box. Everything was inside, boiling inside, and the outside world couldn't see it. There was hatred, deception, and conspiracies. Everything was inside going on, and the people couldn't see outside. They were kept in the box. And now the people realize it. The Pashtun realize it, that what they have been, telling them for almost a century, since 1947, since the creation of Pakistan, that everything is false and nothing is true.
Shahi Sahab, I'll take you back to 1947. We saw that in 1946-47, Bacha Khan was representing Pashtuns of NWFP, currently KPK. And mostly people were thinking that if Pakistan is created, KPK, NWFP will go to India because it is ruled by Congress. But Congress dumped the leadership, Bacha Khan and his followers in KPK, and they asked them to remain with Pakistan because of that so-called referendum. Now entire India was being divided and there was no referendum. Bengal and Punjab were divided, there were no referendums. But Pashtuns, where majority Congress was ruling, there was a referendum. So tell me, do you think that Congress could have done something at that time to not let Pashtuns become slaves of Pakistani Punjabis?
See, there's two things. If you see the Bano resolution, 1947, Bacha Khan wanted independent state for Pashtuns. If you see his speech, last word, that you thrown us to the wolves. Basically, that was the speech to the Congress, because the Congress made a deal without the consultation of Bacha Khan, and he was deeply hurt. And once he found out, he was very disappointed. He felt betrayed, and then he said that you thrown us to the wolves. Basically, you thrown us to the to the current, like you see this, what is going on to us right now. You see it. This was he knew that it's going to happen. Such thing, what is going on today. So if you see the during the resolution in Bono that they wanted an independent state, and but no one heard him until this day. We are suffer, and we are suffer because of that. The Congress and all these who made a deal behind closed door, because of that we suffer. We are paying for.
Tell me, I will bring you back from 47 to 79, because if we see period of 47 to 79 of Pakistan in particular, Pashtuns were partners with Punjabi army. Like Ayub Khan, Yahya Khan, they were Pashtun army generals who were ruling Pakistan, and there was a good share of Pashtuns in foreign service, in military. Things were going on. Then came 79, and 79 Pakistan on the behest of West started playing an ugly role in Afghanistan. It was not generally it is a perception that it was not a invasion by USSR in Afghanistan, but it was on the request of Afghan government that had come to stop Pakistan's infiltration in Afghanistan. Now tell me that Pashtuns' children were given to army, both Pashtuns, the Afghan refugees who came to Pakistan and Pakistani, and these Pashtun children became Taliban. Tell us, what is Taliban, how it became so monstrous a group in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and worldwide Taliban effect we can see. What is Taliban? Why it was created? Give us a brief idea about Afghan war and Taliban, please.
Thank you so much. Before I go to that about to Taliban, I would like to add that, like I said earlier, that Pakistan is built on deception and also conspiracies. If you see, the important thing is who controlled the button. The button was the GHQ. If you see right now, the GHQ entirely run by Punjabi majority. There's no Pashtun. Yes, in the front somewhere outside, if you see, there may be Pashtun general, or maybe you can also maybe find Baloch general, or Sindhi, but they have just a few medal on the title, but they don't power lay with the state of Punjab. So whatever, like in the past, like they close the eyes of the Pashtun and say, hey, look, this Pashtun general or that. But if you see the policymaker, the everything, good example is Bhutto. Bhutto was from Sindh, and he was probably 80% of the parliament. But when the Punjabi elite and the military didn't like him, he was hanged. He was hanged regardless how much power, how much influence he had. So basically, the button is laid with the Punjab elite, especially Punjabi military. Now I come to the Taliban, that thing. If you see, there are 40,000 madrasas, religious, in the name, like I said again they don't teach religion. They don't see the peaceful part of the religion. They just created some version of kind of, extremism, and they brainwash the children of Pashtuns, Baloch, Sindhi, and all these people, and they're mostly Pashtuns. And then they brainwash them in these madrasas. If you see, the whole madrasa are built in the land of Pashtun or Baloch. But in contrast, you see modern schools in Punjab. They have two things. What they tell to Pashtuns and Pakistan, that you are Mujahid, you are the holy man, you will go to heaven, but outside of that part of the world, they tell to the world they are terrorists. You see that in the media. You see the Pakistani journal. They tell people if these Taliban beat women, and outside they tell this is Pashtun backward culture. But when they do inside the Pakistan, they say these are holy warriors. They do it for God. They do like these things. But if you see in Pashtun culture, a quote, there's a code in Pashtun culture. If someone kills someone's brothers, cousins, father, son, but if a woman come to your home for forgiveness, if you're true Pashtun, you have to forgive because of that woman. So what it tell you? It tell you, A1, a killer will be forgiven. If a woman come to your home and ask for forgiveness, it give the value to the woman. And Bacha Khan once said that a culture, people will be know how they treat their women. So this was our leader, but we were pushed. They created madrasa, brainwashed these people. There's a philosopher, there's someone who said that give me 7 years of your child, he will be mine forever. Our children are in the hands of the ISI in those madrasas. They are brainwashed. Those who do commit those crimes, they are no longer part of our culture. They don't represent us. They don't follow the value of Pashtun Wali. So this is the thing. They brainwash them. They send them to Afghanistan. They send them to different part of the world. The other day you saw that they killed one guy in the court in Peshawar because he believed he was Ahmadi from Ahmadi sect of Islam. So these are the things that they created them to destroy the Pashtun culture, basically. Once they destroy, this is the only way they can destroy Pashtun culture. They say, hey, who care about Pashtun? You're the Muslim. But what they teach them is the extremist view, and then they use them as a soldier, foot soldier for wars. They rent them to others. They get money. They got billions and billions of dollars. So this is the thing Pashtun realize it. This is that the Pakistan establishment, ISI in military is worry about. The Pashtun now know their game, and they will not send their children to those madrasas.
Shai Sahab, very well said. I would like to ask you something about current position of Pashtun men in uniform. In Pakistan Army, after Punjabis, the biggest group is Pashtuns. I have heard that Pashtuns are showing Pashtun army men are showing resentment, and they are not happy with things going on in KPK and ex-FATA by Pakistan Army. And I have heard that Punjabi Army does not send Pashtun soldiers to KPK and FATA. They send Pashtun soldiers to Balochistan for operation, and Punjabis do operation in Pashtun areas. Is it true, and what is the position of Pashtun military men?
If you saw that few months ago, there was a young man from Bano, I guess, Waziristan. He killed himself before he was told to go to Balochistan. He said he would not kill an innocent person in Balochistan. So this is what it sent a message that, hey, we Pashtun don't want to be used against Baloch. It's true that what they are doing, they send Baloch or Sindhi to Pashtun area, Pashtun to Baloch area. So they are playing they play a game within Pashtun. If you see, there's a Turi Shia Pashtuns versus Sunni Pashtun in Parachinar, and they use exactly game. And when they use Pashtun, trying to use Pashtun tribe against Pashtun tribes, they want to create this internal conflict that they can divide and rule. So this is why the people are realizing that there was a guy. He told me that he is with Pakistani military. He told me he said whenever he applied for any job, they search, they look like they ask thousand and thousand questions. There are questions who he knows. Then they are followed by the ISI to know that, because should the person get the job or not. If the Punjabi apply, they ask where you live, where are you, what's this, the simple form. But with the Pashtuns, they're checking, they're asking thousand. This is because the Pashtun realize it. If you see the Tahir Dawar, police officer, you know that when he was killed, tortured in Islamabad, and took him all the way to several hundred miles away, kilometers, probably 1,200 kilometers down to, I don't know how many kilometers down to Afghanistan, and then put it below the checkpost of Pakistani and throw them and said someone kidnapped him. From 600, there are 600 security camera where he was kidnapped from. So the camera was, they said that the camera didn't work, all these things. What he was saying is that he couldn't accept these terrorist training camps, terrorists that are funded by Pakistan. He knew. And then A1 people see he arrested some terrorists who was also, some of them were Pakistani military. And he was asked to release them. And he said, no, I don't do that. And after that, he said, I don't release them, but you can come release them. I will go on leave. Once he went on leave to Islam, went to Islamabad, they kidnapped him from there and then torture him and told to others, to show to others, hey, if you resist, this will be it will happen exactly this to you. So basically, Pashtuns are realizing, and Pashtuns are, every Pashtun knows that they're destroying their culture, their identity, and the state of Pakistan, and especially behind is the Punjabi elite and military.
So sad affairs of Pakistan and Pashtuns. I'm so sad that this brave nation is treated like this. Tell me what happened day before yesterday. How could you celebrate Eid when your family is in Chaman border? They were suffering, they were protesting since months to get united to their family members. How can a brave army like Pakistan's army fire on children and women on Chaman border? And then I have heard that they attacked Kandahar city and more than 50 people were killed in that attack. What happened on Chaman? What is going to happen now?
But first, if you probably, based on, if you see mostly coward people, when coward people get power and gun, then they become merciless. This is always, if you study the whole thing of their brain, this is the way. This is not the first time. In Babara, 1948, it happened in Babara. After 70 years later, the same thing happened to Khalkamar. This was also Eid. And then the other day in Chaman and so many others. Think about the APS school. This was planned, this was conspiracy. Every Pashtun knows that this was the state of Pakistan. One of the lawyer whose son was killed, he asked for justice the other day. The ISI followed him and fired on his car, not to keep him silent. So the thing is, like I said, this is a cowardly act. But when he saw resistance, then once they start shooting them, they start shooting other side of the Devon line too. It's indiscriminately shooting at the houses. But after the Afghan forces, A1 with a light weapon reacted, it happened exactly what happened in Kashmir. I mean, in Bangladesh. What happened in Bangladesh? They run without their pants, and they left their pants and the uniform there, and you might saw those videos. So, like I said, the cowards. This is cowardly act, shooting at children, killing men, women, and children, peaceful women and children. You know what happened? There were children. They're still children. They're looking for them. The parents are looking for them because they disappeared. Because there was everyone. Because once they start shooting, the one who died, they're already dead. But the one who lost their children, they're still searching for their children. They're killing us in many ways. They're killing us. They're brainwashing us. They're killing us through, what they tell to the world, labeling us. They're creating terrorists and the same, then put blame on us. They're shooting us. They're taking away they're taking their parents, the Pashtuns children without parents, growing up without parents. They miss their love, so they kill us in different ways. So this is why people are united. Pashtun are united, and we will show to the world their real nature, their true faces. We unmask them, and we are going to unmask them. And then the world and the international community will decide, you and other will decide who are the evils and who are real perpetrators, who are the criminals, and this is the thing they are scared from.
It's a really very difficult phase that Pashtun movement is going through. I remember a couple of years back when PTM was in the beginning phase. I come from Karachi, and I've seen that the biggest city on earth for Pashtuns is also Karachi. They are more in Karachi than Kabul and Peshawar. And they are contributing. Now, for example, people in Karachi, for the security of their families, they trust Pashtuns because every building has Pashtun Chowkidar. Even when I was mayor in Karachi, and my friends came for that, you take this security guard, this driver for your family. I said, I want Pashtuns. Because I was advised that you can trust only Pashtuns. Now, Pashtun, such a trustworthy nation, they are playing very positive role in Karachi. What happened to that Masood guy? That was a smart model who was killed by Rao Anwar. And it was a kick-start of PTM movement also, that murder. What happened to him, sir?
First, like you said, when I went myself to Karachi too, and I was told that, they were like how they created the perception of people of Karachi or others. They like Sindhis, they would tell me, hey, you are Muslim. Just, you're Pashtuns. Be careful with it. But when I went there, they were the most nicest people. The Sindhi were the most nicest people, the most kind people. And the same way, the Baluch, what we would tell it, Baluch are, Baluchistan is a dangerous place. And always there are people who are dead and killed. And it's true, they were dead and killed, but no one know who killed at the time. No one know who killed them. But now we found out that through social media, they killed through ISI, and they were buried there. They were laying there without burying them. So yeah, they created all these different perception about one group against other, and whether to rule, divide and rule. The thing is, at the end, we minorities are always they're using us for their they use us like their commodity, where like they use us like they use us, and for different way, for wherever they can get interest, they can use us. So they kill at the end, we are all the same, all minority are the same. The Ra Anwar is still, you see, he's a free man. He's they show us that we are the lords, the elite, military elite, Punjabi military elite. They tell us, yeah, they're the owner of the Pakistan. You guys are just wherever you are the slaves. You have to live the way you live. So this is the thing. This is the message, and he's still free. So there's no justice for
You are right, sir. When I go worldwide, whenever we speak about Pashtuns, the non-Pakistani Europeans and international community have an image of Pashtuns, because Pakistan has created that image of Pashtuns. They are uneducated, they are very extremist, and they believe in only war and these things. But when we see Shahi Saadat Saab, when we see Manzoor Pashtin Saab, Mohsin Dawar Saab, Ali Wazir Saab, Gulalai Ismail, and then on the other side of Durand Lane, when we see Rashid Khan, Muhammad Nabi, these are the new faces of Pashtun. These are the ambassadors of Pashtuns. How long it will take to change the image of Pashtuns which is created by Pakistan by this way with these enlightened Kashmir Pashtuns?
I think people slowly realizing. Then one of the things that I want to add is that if you saw that the Pakistan military are telling that, oh, we did it because we did it for America, or we did it, no, they did it for their own interest. Their point was after the Bangladesh, they feared from Pashtun that these are the people who might join, who might create their own land or Baloch. So what they did it on one side, they did certain deal with the West, but on the other side, they were all after Pashtuns to destroy Pashtun identity. It started from the beginning till now. And then they created this image, like you said, it in the mind of every people in the world. Think about that. Do you know about Mashal Khan, who was beaten to death and stoned and pulled? I mean, people can search Mashal Khan from Bacha Khan University, the student. This whole thing was planned because he wanted rights for Pashtuns, and the image, how they show the image to the rest of the world. The one Bacha Khan, a man who wanted a who was a peaceful man. Look what's happening in his own university. The Pashtuns are wild. The Pashtuns are beating each other, killing each other in this way. In the same way, the Taliban in Swat beating women, and in the same way, on the other side of the Urin line, the free land of Afghans, which is free. That side, that when the Taliban had control, they did the same thing, and they're doing in their area the same thing, and telling the world that these are Pashtuns, these are the white people. And basically the whole center of the thing is the whole thing which controlled is by ISI. ISI control them. ISI run those things. Think about the Buddha of Bamyan. If you see the Buddha, when they destroyed the Buddha of Bamyan, in the same day, watch Pakistani channels. They show their statues, cleaning some of them, and then putting in so nice thing, and they're telling to the world, hey, look, we care about own statues, but look, the Afghans, they are destroying the oldest Buddha. And then they send the same message to India, that hey, Hindu, and look, the Muslim is destroying your Buddha. Just go after the mosque. And then they're trying to create conflict between Indian Muslim and Indian Hindu and others. So the whole game is, if you see the whole game, how they send message to the Indian Hindu or Indian Muslim, and how they change the message to the West. Totally, if you see the narrative in English, and then the Urdu, and then the Pashto, you will see there's totally contradict each other's. So this is the thing, they created this image of Pashtuns, that Pashtuns are bad people and that. But I tell you one thing to all people, if they're Hindu, Muslim, Jews, Christian, everyone, I ask one question, and the question is, if whatever Pakistan created, if we Pashtun were that kind of people, if Pashtun don't tolerate other religion, other people, why in three main land of Pashtuns, which is Jalalabad, Kandahar, and Logar, why the Hindu and Sikh temples are there? Why the main temples are there? Why the community are living only among Pashtuns there? So these are the three places that they have still their temples, their religious, they're still practicing there, and they're living happily. So if this was the Pashtun, and why, if you see the Pashtun, like the Jews before the war, You could see that they were looking the same like Pashtuns. They wear the same, they dress the same thing with a Hindu, the same thing with any other religions. So basically, this thing is created, like I said, give me the 7 years of your child, he will be mine forever. This is the ISI created mentality. This is what we have to work and tell to the world. And we are going to that. We are going to that, and we are telling the world that this is not what's happening in our name. We are not that kind of people, and this is exactly what they're scared from.
Shaisab, Parachinar, a regular target of terrorists, regular target of military operations. What is this Parachinar? Why it is regular target? Is there any sectarian strife also between Pakhtuns, Shia and Sunni and these things?
If a few days ago, we diffused it, thanks to PTM, PTM leaders diffused one other issues. There was different issue between two Pashtun tribes. There was, I think Bajauri and I think Momand or Shinwari. I forgot that. When I saw this video, I quickly reacted to, and then I send my message to other PTM activists and all to help to diffuse this issue. The issue was land dispute. There was a land dispute between these two tribes, and then suddenly some people appears from nowhere and talking to the groups. He say, "Hey, I will provide you money. Go shoot the other tribes, kill them." And I will give you several million, like I think 20 or 30 million, I don't know how many crore Pakistani rupees. I will give you this much crore Pakistani rupee. I will give you this much again. Suddenly these people appears. And when I saw, and then they said, go kill their children. They were put Pashtuns. And suddenly we read this was ISI plan. And I went live on that issue, and I said, hey, these guys who are talking about this, where did he get this money from? And please quickly diffuse this issue. And the reason is because once they put this conflict between each others, what they do is then they can use them easily. They can use against one another. They will be busy against one another. And at the same time, the state of Punjab will steal their resources, control them more, chain them more, and then do what they ever want to them. And this exactly happened in Parachinar. Parachinar, there is a Shia Muslim and Sunni Muslim. Both of them are Pashtun. Wonderful people, all of them. When I lived in Parachinar, there was a time when I lived in Parachinar with my parents. I was exactly told that the Parachinar, they call them Turi. The Turi Parachinar people are eating Sunnis, eating Sunni children. Like they tell right now, the Hindus are eating Muslim or children or something, Basically, the Pakistani military is eating us, so eating our children. We were so scared. Even when I would look that side, I would fear. And then one day my father had a friend, and a friend came, he said, this is from Turi. And he said, I was scared. First, I couldn't go to this room. I said, this Turi will eat me. And I was so scared, didn't want it to go. I was a child. And finally, he called me, and my father said, come. And I was scared deep in my heart. I came forward, and he gave me a candy when I said he was the nicest person. So basically, they said that this is Sunni, this is Shia, and they create the conflict among them. Then they take some militia from one group, creating militia, bringing it to the other side to control one group. And then they take this militia to other side. And then this is easy to control each group, kill them easily, because, they're already created this animosity, that hatred. So this is exactly what's going on. Think about that. And some people were blaming for that Iran provided this weapon. But I wrote, I said, how could Iran, where did come this heavy weapon? They use big rockets and everything. I mean, I said, where did this heavy weapon come? Iran has so far border. And they said, no, created different excuses. So I said, this weapon is provided by the military of Pakistan, because those big guns, how can they transfer all the way from Iran to here to those big guns? So the mentality is created, and then they wanted to take themselves out the state of Pakistan and say, oh, this is not we. Basically, they were the one. And then when if you saw that one of the Pashtun PTM leader was going to reconcile between them, he was stopped. He said, you cannot go there. You can, and then he tried, he said, please let me that I reconcile among these two groups. They didn't let them, and then the person came back, and finally you saw the bloodbath, the killing, and all these things. So this is the thing. The whole thing is run by Pakistan. They are playing, like I said, this is a Pandora box. They're lying. They're creating conspiracies. They're creating all this division, hatred, extremism, terrorism. Think about that. All the terrorist groups are living in Pakistan. The thing is, this is the job of me, you, and others who live outside of Pakistan, or other humans, people who knows about Pakistan. We have all the proofs in our hands. We just needed to show it to the world. This is what we needed. You know, the Pakistan is created on perception of deception, and everything is that. Nothing is real there. So this is the thing that is in Parachinar and all that area.
Shahi Sahab, India is oldest civilization, and it's a historical country, and it has a good connection with Afghanistan, historical connection. There are so many Pashtuns living in India. Now, my question is that my Indian media friends, they often ask me that why PTM leaders, they don't speak to Indian media. They refrain from speaking to Indian media. Now, India is playing a very positive role in Afghanistan since 1970s. Till about 10 years back, everyone was destroying Afghanistan, be it is America or Pakistan or anyone. But India started reconstruction, rebuilding of Afghanistan. They helped Afghan forces in training, police training, military training, infrastructure building, and they have given aid also. Now, my question is that why PTM leader is afraid of talking to India? Even if they are not talking, they are termed as raw agents and all these things. So why not at least inform Indian people that what is happening to Pashtuns? Because after all, we are same family from Kabul to Rangoon. We are same people, and we in future also it would be an ideal situation that these countries remain with close contacts like European Union and this. So why avoiding India and Indians?
If you see the Pakistani textbooks, which I read it in school and till high school and even in the beginning of college, it's everything about India. India is created is like in the minds that India is the, like I said, that they would say that Hindu would eat the children, you know, like outside the story, but in the books they would put it in a different way. They said India are that, and that the perception is the whole thing, you know, in the mind. That from the childhood, from Mutale, Pakistan, that Pakistan is just the only country that God, you know, created Pakistan, and Pakistan ka matlab kya, la ilaha illallah. You know, even they twisted the la ilaha illallah, you know. If it's Pakistan ka matlab hai la ilaha illallah, then la ilaha illallah ka matlab kya hai? Then we are not believer, but we are then Islam came after since 1947, you know. So this is then Muhammad is just, you know, they just everyone talking like that way. So this perception that they created about India, about people, about Jews, about Christian, about Israel, about other nations, all these things is in the mind. And then when you come from school out, then there are mosques. If you spend time in I mean, you are near there and you live there, you saw that every time, like 5 days a week, from speakers, root speakers, The mullahs are calling that the enemies are the Jews, the enemies are Hindus, the enemies are Christians, and then you grew up with that things. And then then there is ISI, and then there's Pakistan military. Even if anyone that talking to media is a big thing, but even if you talk to Indian people, just Indian men, women, you will be labeled. You will be labeled a spy. You will be labeled a traitor. You will be labeled that you are agent. You know, you hear that ideally. Even if you don't talk to them too, you say to Pakistani military, why you shoot this child? This right away they label you. You're spying for your agent of Ra or agent of Israel or America or CIA or that things. So that they created this fear in the mind, and the people think even if I want to talk to the Indian media, that they will be labeling me. They're trying to avoid that things. But what I'm going to tell to the people, at least people who are outside, that we have to reach out every media, any media. We have to, you have to, because the Pakistani media doesn't let us. So what we can do, we have to use social media and all the media, and we should appreciate. And one thing I tell to the people, all Pashtuns, hey, our enemy is the one who pulled the trigger and shoot our children. And what's called in Chaman, who pulled the trigger? This was a Jew, this was a Hindu, this was a Christian, or this was the Punjabi soldier. And the same time in Kharkamar, who were pulling the trigger? There are videos when they killed the rocketing villages in Afghanistan. After that massacre, they're dancing, they have music. I can show you those videos. So who are they? Are they Hindu? Are they Baloch, Sindhi, or others? Are they Pakistani Punjabi military? They talk Punjabi languages. So the thing is, our enemy, like I said, that they created this mentality of, you know, that if you talk to Indian, then you are going to be, you're the bad person. So this is their perception, and I hope we have to cross this barrier. We have to get out from that, and we have to reach out everyone in the world, everyone. I told I came in social media, and I'm going to print some paper, and I'm going to go to the churches, temples, synagogue, everything, and give it to the people. And why? Because if those people who are sitting in the mosque, if they would hear us, there would be no need we go there, because they don't hear us. We have to go to everyone, and plus, you know, we are all human at the end. There's a humanity. Everyone have family. This thing cannot divide us. There's someone's religion, someone belief, someone country. The only thing unite us humanity, and the only thing divide us is crimes, atrocity, and evil actions. So the state of Pakistan is committing that atrocity.
Shahi Sahab, I have two more questions. My second last question is about non-Pakhtun issue. There is a state called Jammu and Kashmir, and as per British, when they left 1947, they gave a choice to every princely state of India to join either Pakistan or India. And the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, he accessed to India. He signed an accession treaty to India, and the majority population of the state being Muslim, the Muslim leader Sheikh Abdullah was also on board with this accession treaty, because Sheikh Abdullah was quite close to Indian Congress. Now Pakistan attacked, and again the Pakhtun tribal leaders were used in that 1948 attack. And then we know that there is a LOC, and half Kashmir is with Pakistan, like Gilgit-Baltistan and POK is occupied by Pakistan. Last year on 5 August, Indian Assembly passed a resolution abrogating Article 370, which put many restrictions on Kashmir state. And now people are very happy in Kashmir. As an outsider observer, how do you see this, and what solution Kashmir to the Kashmir dispute is?
First of all, when I compare Kashmir to Waziristan, let me talk about that. Probably in Kashmir, I didn't hear probably in the past several many years, like probably in a decade, I didn't see that it destroyed more than 300 or 400 houses. I didn't, hear that thing. But in Waziristan, there are like more than 1 million homes are destroyed by the Pakistani military. And the same way you see in Balochistan, and then the other part of Pashtun land, destroying everything, and when they kill our animals and everything. So first, Pakistan, if they talk about that, they have to fix that things. They have to look in the mirror, their own face, and then they should talk about the, issues in Kashmir. Second thing is that this is the right of Kashmiri. It's not the right of the Pakistan army or the Punjab elite. Third, if you compare the part of Pakistan, Kashmir, whereas there's some part with Pakistan, compare that part with Lahore, Karachi, and everything. I'm sorry, Karachi is not the Lahore and Islamabad. Look, all industries are in Lahore and Punjab. All industries, if you see the whole thing, the same thing is if you go to a part of which is with Pakistan, that Kashmir, there's not a hospital there, a good hospital. Think about that. The other day, someone called me from Swat Valley. What they have is this guy, because the whole industries, like I said in Punjab, they use fertilizer. The fertilizer come from Punjab. This guy borrow money from a Punjabi fertilizer company to plant, to have more fruits and so. After the fruits are ready, so they want to move them back to Punjab, to the market. From Punjab to Afghanistan or India or other parts, why not? They don't have the market over there. And then what they do is, there are military checkposts. They stop them there for hours and hours, and then their fruit rottens. But the company still take this rotten fruit. You know what? But because they create shampoos, they create hundreds of different other things. So they sell this. He sold this stuff for the price that was half of the fertilizer. So the whole thing is planned to destroy the everything of Pashtuns, economically, politically, also mines and everything, economy, everything. So the guy, he said he has to pay back, he has to borrow to pay for the fertilizer. Borrow money. He's like, this is slavery. This is the worst form of slavery that they're creating. So talking about back to Kashmir, like I said, that Pakistan has no justification. The state of Pakistan or the Pakistan military has no justification for just playing the rule of something. That this is the decision of the Kashmir people. Is not a Pakistan, because Pakistan is corrupt, the most corrupted military. They run the whole system, run the government, run everything. And how can those generals who kill their own soldier in conspiracy, and you saw that it's happened in Balochistan. This general, he was like I think Khatak or something. He was involved in that conspiracy, killing his own soldier for money and conspiracies, stealing resources, and so talk about those things. So again, this is the decision of the people they make, and this is why we Pashtuns should have been given also the right to decide. The Baloch should be also to give the right to decide, not the Pakistani military. So.
Shahi Sahab, my last question. You have been very matured in your statements. So now reply to this question is also without any emotions, and I would like that public know what you think about Pakistan's future. What is Pakistan's future when in KPK Pashtuns are not happy? We see daily there is a video, we see that Pashtuns are pelting stones on Pakistan army and they are not happy at all. In Balochistan, people are not happy with the army. The Hazara in Balochistan are facing genocide. The Baloch are facing genocide. And then we come to Sindh, where Muhajirs and Sindhis have joined hands and they are struggling for Sindhu Desh. Kashmiris are not happy, except Punjabis. Nobody is happy in Pakistan. What future do you see of Pakistan?
The thing is, the first collapse, I see is that, the first thing is in the mind of the people when it's come questions. Once the question comes in the people's mind and no one is able to answer those questions, this is the beginning of, the end. So this is one thing. People first was confusion. People were first was, at the beginning they believed that Pakistan military is the protector and a protector against evils and all these things. They were told, like Mutalia Pakistan, oh, that these are bad, those are bad. Suddenly, when the whole thing started and they committed all these crimes, and then they said, hey, the crime is because the Jews, the crime is because of the Christian, the crime is because of the Hindu, the India, the American, that and that and that. And then certain time you use this kind of thing. Then the people suddenly become confused because the men who pulled the trigger, they are the Pakistani soldier. The men, Ehsanullah Ehsan, who killed hundreds of Pashtun children in APS schools, and then many lawyers in Balochistan. He was sitting with GHQ and protected by the Pakistan military. Suddenly, this confusion and raised, and suddenly became arose, and the people said, "Hey, these Taliban who shoot at our home yesterday, they are sitting with Pakistani military sipping tea daily." But what Punjabi military, they're sipping tea, they're there daily, and then why they wouldn't be? Every people saw them, because they would go through, they would be not searched, they would say hi, hug, they're between the military and all these things. Suddenly the people question why. When you say something, why you do the same thing? If they're bad, why then you are with them? And why you killed us? For what? Suddenly these young people arose. Now the question is the question is they have no answer for that. They have no answer to tell us why where are our 70,000 children? They kidnapped them, because most of them are. And when you saw those clip, you might saw those clip that they're selling their organs. The Pakistani military is so much greedy. Not only they steal our resources, they take our organs. They even take organs of the children. Maybe you saw this report from Guardian. The Guardian report that searched it. They said that in Saudi Arabia, when they banned the organs transplant, the Pakistani doctors are sitting in Pakistani embassies, and then they check the blood and everything, and then call to Pakistan. And there are two transplant hospital in Lahore run by retired military officers, and they get the transplant there. And then you see the children of Baloch and Pashtuns, and they're when they found their bodies or returned their body, they're all open and removed. Everything is empty inside. So this is the thing. There's not one thing. There's crimes against humanity. Yeah. So this is the thing. We cannot tolerate that. We cannot live with a kind of Pakistan. That they destroy our children's life. They created, they brainwash our children. They use our children. They enslave our children. No one can live with that kind of Pakistan. This is it's not acceptable, and we will not forgive. We will bring them to they will pay for it, everything. They will pay for what happened in Chaman. They're going to pay. They have to be ready, and they're exactly scared right now from that. These Pakistani intelligence agencies are trying, like a killer who's scared for committing their crime. They're scared from their own shadows. They're now in that level. They're scared from their own shadows, and when they walk, they hear anything like a killers. They're killers. So they think someone is following us. So they are in that point, and it's soon you will see that soon, probably in a few years, a big change in the region.
Thank you very much, Shahi Sahab. It was such a wonderful session. I hope audience will learn a lot about this issue that they want to learn. And it was totally an unbiased and matured statement. Pakhtuns were blessed to have a Bacha Khan leadership who transformed Pakhtuns and brought respect to general common Pakhtuns. Then came Taliban and changed the demography. Now again, Pakhtuns are blessed to have a leader like Manzoor Pashtun, non-violent, educated, tolerant, and matured. He has good company also. I hope that now again a Pakhtun rising will be there and Pakhtuns will attain their legal rights and they will be united. Thank you very much for giving us time, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for last statement that I will send this message to the state of Pakistan is that our Bacha Khan Baba died in 1988 under house arrest. And what he said is that bury me in the lap of my mother. And he was buried in Jalalabad. And he said, reunite me. And this is a message. And this, I tell clearly that this is not all time. Pashtun realized and Pashtun will stand